In this first video, I'm going to show you a few things in Sketchup styles. The first thing that I'm going to show you is how to build your model quickly. So you can see in this particular project, I have several different scenes set up. And so when you're building a rendering and it has several different scenes, maybe you're doing something for an entire house and you want to show them several different views. You want to make sure that you set the style settings so that you can move and add components quickly. Because if you don't do that, what starts to happen is that your model gets very slow. It takes forever to move something, to add a component. And so you want to change the settings so that you can move quickly when you're doing your 3D modeling. When you don't do this, what's happening is that SketchUp, every time you try to move something and it's taking forever, it is analyzing and rendering every texture, every color, everything within the space. So you basically have to turn that off in order to do your modeling quickly. So how to get to styles, you click the paint bucket right here. And then you go down to the style section, and you can see all of that right here. So usually we are on the simple style when we're doing our 3D modeling, but when we have a larger file, we may need to even take that down more to where there is no color at all. And so what I switched to is hidden line right here, and you can see that the setting changes, and so every time you move something, it's going to move a lot quicker because SketchUp doesn't have to analyze all of the textures and all of the colors within a room. So that's one way to do that, and probably the quickest way to make your modeling go by a lot faster. The next thing that I want to show you in styles is a few settings that you can change so that if you don't have time to add lighting and podium, or maybe you don't have podium loaded to SketchUp, just a few things that you'll need to change in order to make your SketchUp model presentable to your client. So here we're just going to pretend that we don't have any lighting at all. We're just going to show our client this quick 3D rendering of their space. So the first thing that you want to do is you still want to turn on shadows. So I'm going to click View and then check Shadows. And you can see that that makes the room look a little bit more realistic and bringing in some shadows and light reflection. The next thing that you have to do is you have to remove a setting that analyzes all of the edges. And so you can see that on the chair here. So the way they created this chair, there's a lot of lines that are visible. That's not a fabric pattern. That is just the way that the SketchUp component was created. So within that simple style, you turn on shadows and then you come over to simple style and you click edit. And watch what happens. Watch the blue chair right here. Once I unclick edges, watch how that changes. You can see that now it looks more realistic. It really removes all of the edges. And I'll show you the difference between the two again. It really removes all of the edges so that everything looks a little bit cleaner, more realistic in design. Another setting that you can change is profiles. So you can still see that there's still like an outline around my windows, around the plants on the table, and then also there's some outlines on the chairs too. So there's another setting right here called profiles. And so I'm going to uncheck that and you can see the difference now, how that changes it. So it's kind of the edges in the profile settings really remove a lot of the line drawings that make sometimes SketchUp models, it really makes those lines makes your rendering look very cartoonish, so that it's just one quick easy way to make your rendering look a little bit more realistic if you don't have podium to add any lighting.